April 1945. Western Germany collapses hour by hour. Obergefreiter Elisabeth Lissel-Bauer, Luftwaffe Flak Auxiliary, stands ankle-deep in wet rubble on the eastern edge of the Ruhr Pocket. She is 22. Her uniform is too thin for the cold rain. Her anti-aircraft battery has not fired in 3 days, not because the war is over, but because there are no shells left. The air smells of burned oil, brick dust, and rotting smoke. Somewhere to the west, American artillery rolls forward, not in panic, not in urgency, but with the slow confidence of a force that knows resistance is finished. Lissel grips her steel helmet with both hands. She has never seen an American soldier. Only leaflets, only rumors, only propaganda posters showing grinning monsters with cigarettes and knives. Now the sound is real. Tracked vehicles, engines idling low, orders shouted in a language she does not understand. Her battery commander lies dead behind the gun pit, killed 2 nights ago by shell fragments. The remaining women telephone operators, loaders, range estimators stand frozen. No one gives orders. No one salutes. The Reich has already left them. Across the shattered rail yard, shapes move through the fog. American infantry, helmets rounder than German steel. Rifles carried low, not raised. Faces tired, uncelebrating. Mud on boots, sleeves rolled down. This is not how she imagined it. A USM-1 Sherman tank creeps forward, turret angled slightly left, machine gun covering the rubble. Its engine vibrates through Lissel's chest like a second heartbeat. She can see the white star smeared with grime. A voice shouts in English. Hands go up. Lissel hesitates. Her training tells her to destroy documents, sabotage equipment, disappear into the ruins. But her body refuses. She is not thinking about Germany. She is thinking about staying alive. She raises her hand slowly. The rifle barrels do not move closer. No one fires. An American soldier steps forward cautiously. He looks younger than her brother was in 1942. His face is tight with discipline, not hatred. He gestures downward, drop it. Lissel lets the helmet fall. It hits concrete and rolls, echoing too loud. This is the exact moment she understands something irreversible has happened. She is no longer a soldier. She is a prisoner. Behind her, smoke thickens as German ammunition cooks off somewhere deeper in Essen. Overhead, the sky remains empty, no Luftwaffe, no bombers, just low cloud and drifting ash. The American soldier speaks again, slower. He points toward the road. Movement. The Ruhr Pocket is closing, and Lissel-Bauer takes her first step toward captivity, without knowing what waits on the other side. The war does not end when you stop fighting. It ends when someone else decides what happens to you next. The road is narrow, cratered, and slick with rain. Lissel-Bauer walks in silence, hands still raised, though no one has ordered her to keep them there. Around her the last fragments of German resistance dissolve without ceremony. Rifles abandoned in doorways, helmets floating in puddles, white cloth tied to sticks. The American infantry move with method, not celebration. This is April 13th, 1945, inside the collapsing Ruhr Pocket. The war here is no longer fought for ground, but for control of people. A U.S. sergeant stops her with a sharp gesture. He points to her belt. Slowly she unfastens it. No one rushes her. No one shouts. A young private takes the belt, then the insignia, then the gas mask canister she never used. Each item disappears into an olive-green pile already growing beside the road. This is how an army dismantles another piece by piece without anger. She is searched briefly, professionally. The soldier avoids her eyes. When he finishes, he steps back, nods once, and waves her forward. Ahead, hundreds of prisoners stand in loose formation. Volkssturm men with trembling hands, Luftwaffe ground crew, railroad workers still in civilian coats. Faces hollow, boots mismatched. No flags, no songs. The Americans separate the women. Lissel is moved to the side with a small group of female auxiliaries, flak helpers, clerks, signal operators. No insults, no threats, just quiet efficiency. An interpreter speaks German with a heavy accent. Stay here. Do not move. She obeys. Time stretches. The fog lifts just enough to reveal destroyed factories beyond the rail line's krupp, buildings gutted, smokestacks broken like bones. The industrial heart of Germany is silent now. She expects brutality. That is what she was taught to expect. Instead, an American medic kneels beside an elderly German man who collapses near the road. He gives him water. A cigarette appears, then disappears into cracked lips. No cameras. No speeches. This unsettles her more than violence would have. A convoy rolls past U.S. trucks marked with chalk numbers. Military police riding on the back. She sees African-American soldiers for the first time, standing guard with the same discipline, the same tired eyes. No one told her they would look like this. No one told her they would look human. Hours later, they are marched again. The holding area is not a camp, just open ground near a destroyed highway bridge. Barbed wire goes up quickly. Guards rotate. The Americans establish order before nightfall. They expect no escape. And they are right. As dusk approaches, Lissel finally lowers her arms. Her body shakes not from fear now, but from exhaustion, from the realization that the world she trained for since 1943 no longer exists. There will be no counterattack, no last stand, only waiting. An American officer approaches the wire. He studies the women carefully, clipboard in hand. Rank, unit, function. When he reaches Lissel, he pauses. Luftwaffe? He asks. She nods. He writes something down. Tomorrow she will be transported east away from the front, away from the ruins, toward a future that belongs entirely to the enemy. Night settles over the Ruhr, and behind the wire, Lissel Bauer understands for the first time, survival now depends not on orders, but on how the Americans decide to treat their prisoners. The decision has not yet been made. Morning arrives without ceremony. No reveille. No flags. Just light pale, indifferent cutting through the fog that hangs low over the Ruhr Valley. The prisoners stir as the cold loosens its grip. Lissel Bea wakes seated on damp ground, her back against a broken concrete barrier. She has slept in fragments, jolted awake by the sound of trucks, by shouts in English, by the sudden crack of distant gunfire that is not meant for her. The wire holds. American guards rotate smoothly. Their posture is relaxed but deliberate. Rifles are carried at the ready, not raised, not careless. This is a system that has done this before. The women are ordered forward in small groups. Names are taken. Units confirmed. Lissel answers quietly. Flugabwehrhelferin, she says. And a aircraft helper. The clerk writes it down without comment. She is issued a tag paper, not metal, and told to keep it visible. There is no ceremony in becoming a prisoner. No humiliation either. Only administration. Food arrives in the late morning. It is not much. Hard bread. Thin soup ladled from a dented container. But it is warm. And it is more than she has eaten in 2 days. She notices the guards do not eat in front of them. A woman beside her begins to cry, not loudly, just enough to be noticed. She is older, in her 30s, her hands shaking as she lifts the bread. An American guard watches, uncertain, then looks away. He is not trained for this moment. Across the enclosure, German officers stand separately, stripped of insignia, posture still rigid out of habit. They do not speak to the women. Rank has lost its language here. Late morning, the sound of engines grows closer. More prisoners arrive. Survivors of shattered units pulled in from the edges of the pocket. Some are wounded. Some are stunned into silence. The flow does not stop. Lissel watches an American military. Policemen question a captured German NCO. The exchange is brief, controlled. No shouting. No blows. The NCO gestures angrily once, then stops when he realizes no one reacts. His anger has nowhere to land. This, too, is unfamiliar. By noon, the fog burns off. The full ruin of the industrial landscape is visible now, steel frames twisted, assembly halls gutted, smokestacks collapsed inward. The Reich's promise of permanence lies in fragments. An American officer steps onto a crate and addresses the prisoners through an interpreter. They will be moved today. Destination undisclosed. Anyone attempting escape will be shot. No one moves. Lissel feels something she does not recognize at first. Relief. Movement means structure. Structure means survival. They are assembled by category officers, enlisted men, auxiliaries. The women are counted carefully, loaded onto trucks under armed guard. Lissel climbs into the back, gripping the cold metal rail as the engine vibrates to life. As the truck begins to move, she catches a final glimpse of the rail yard where her war ended. Smoke still rises, but no one fights there anymore. The truck turns onto a road heading west, toward the Rhine, toward processing camps she has only heard whispered rumors about. She does not know how long captivity will last. Days, months, years. She only knows one thing. The war has finally decided where she belongs, and it is no longer in Germany's hands. The truck moved for hours. The road west is clogged with the end of a war-abandoned vehicles, burned-out carts, columns of prisoners moving in the opposite direction under guard. Lissel Bauer sits rigidly, bracing against each jolt as the suspension rattles over broken pavement. No one speaks. Conversation feels dangerous, as if words might fracture what little stability remains. The Rhine approaches. She knows this without seeing it yet. The air changes damper, heavier. Traffic thickens with American units moving east, their advance now administrative rather than aggressive. Tanks idle at crossroads. Engineers repair bridges already claimed. Near Remagen, the truck slows. The ruined remains of the Ludendorff Bridge loom in the distance twisted, steel arching into open water. The crossing is controlled now, firmly, by the United States Army. Lissel has heard rumors of its capture. Seeing it silences those rumors into fact. They are unloaded near a temporary processing enclosure wire. Tents, trucks, order. Military police line the perimeter. Names are checked again. No one rushes. Everything is logged. The women are separated once more, this time more formally. A female American soldier use say Women's Army Corps. Her uniform clean. Her posture precise addresses them through an interpreter. They will be searched again. They will be housed separately. There will be rules. There will be consequences. Lissel listens carefully. This is not hostility. It is control. As she steps forward, the American WAC meets her eyes briefly. There is no triumph there, just fatigue, the kind that comes from managing other people's endings. Beyond the wire, the Rhine moves steadily, indifferent to uniforms and surrender. Allied vehicles cross pontoon bridges in unbroken flow. The war from this side looks organized. Processing takes the rest of the day. Personal details, fingerprints, medical inspection. Lissel flinches when a medic presses on a bruise along her ribs, shrapnel from a shell weeks ago. The medic nods, notes it, moves on. No sympathy, no cruelty. As dusk falls, they are issued blankets stamped with U.S. markings. The irony is sharp. She wraps herself in the enemy's protection against the cold. That night, aircraft pass overhead. Not German. Not enemy. American transports, droning westward, carrying troops who will never fire a shot. The sound does not trigger fear. It triggers something worse, finality. Lissel lies awake on a wooden pallet, staring at the canvas roof sagging under dew. Around her, other women breathe unevenly in sleep or whispered prayer. Someone sobs once, then stops. Outside, guards patrol with methodical footsteps. She realizes then that captivity is not a single moment of surrender, but a sequence of decisions made by strangers who hold your life in folders and forms. Tomorrow, she will be moved again, farther from home, deeper into a system she does not understand, and with every mile, the war pulls away from her, leaving only its consequences behind. The next movement comes before sunrise. Engines start in sequence. Orders pass quietly down the line. Lissel Bio rises with the others, blanket folded, paper tag secured to her coat. No one explains the destination. The Americans rarely do. They move prisoners the same way they move, divisions according to plans. Prisoners never see. They cross the Rhine on a pontoon bridge. Lissel looks down as the truck crawls forward. The river is wide, brown, relentless. She thinks of the maps she studied as a flak helper arrows pushing west, then east, always decisive. Now the arrows point only one way. Away, on the far bank, Germany already feels different. More intact villages. Less smoke. The sound of battle replaced by movement and machinery. This is the rear area. The war here is paperwork, logistics, control. By mid-morning they arrive at a Rheinwiesenlager, an open-air, POW enclosure near Bad Kreuznach. Wire stretches across fields once meant for crops. Thousands of prisoners already occupy the space, huddled against the cold earth. No barracks, No buildings, just ground, guards, and sky. Liesel is stunned by the scale. Men sit shoulder to shoulder, uniforms gray with dirt, faces blank with exhaustion. Some dig shallow holes with bare hands. Others stare upward, unmoving, as if waiting for orders that will never come. The women are directed to a smaller enclosed section. Still open air, still wire, but fewer bodies. An American officer explains the rules through an interpreter. Food will come once daily. Water points are fixed. Anyone approaching the wire will be shot. Anyone attempting escape will be shot. Medical requests must wait. No one asks questions. As the day wears on, rain begins again. Light at first, then steady. The field turns soft beneath her boots. Mud creeps up hems and seams. Liesel folds herself into a crouch, pulling the blanket tighter. This is captivity stripped to its basics. Nearby, a German man begins shouting about honor, betrayal, surrender. His voice cracks. Guards approach. He quiets himself when he realizes no one supports him. Ideology collapses fastest when it echoes back alone. Liesel watches an American guard write in a small notebook, counts, numbers, totals. She wonders if her existence now fits inside columns and margins. Late afternoon brings food-thin stew, ladled quickly. There is no time to savor it. There are too many mouths. As evening approaches, she notices something else. The Americans are building nothing permanent. No huts, no tents. No signs this place is meant to last. That thought unsettles her more than the conditions themselves. Night falls hard and cold. The sky clears just enough to reveal stars. Liesel stares upward, the same constellations she once tracked during night shifts, listening for bombers that never came back. Now there is nothing to shoot at, only waiting. Tomorrow may bring transfer, or it may bring nothing at all. In this place, time itself feels provisional, and the war, though finished here, still decides how long suffering continues. The night does not break gently. Cold settles into the Rheinwiesenlager before dawn, pressing through blankets, through uniforms never meant for sleep on open ground. Liesel Bauer wakes to the sound of coughing deep, wet, persistent. Somewhere nearby, a man calls for a medic in a voice already hoarse from the asking. Morning arrives anyway. It always does. The guards change shifts. Water points open. The field stirs back into motion. Survival resumes its quiet routines. Liesel unfolds her blanket, brushes dried mud from her sleeves, and joins the line without being told. She has learned the rhythm now. Obedience is no longer ideological. It is practical. Late morning brings movement at the perimeter. More American officers arrive. More paperwork. More lists. The women are counted again. Liesel answers her name. This time it is marked differently. A transfer is coming. She does not know where, only that it will be farther west, deeper into Allied control. Around her, men whisper rumors. France, Britain, labor camps, release, no one knows. Knowledge has become a currency no one carries anymore. Shortly after noon, an American chaplain walks along the wire, speaking quietly to anyone who wishes. Some prisoners turn away. Some listen. Liesel watches him pass without stopping. Faith, like the Reich, feels distant, now something belonging to another life. By afternoon, trucks line up outside the enclosure. Names are called. When Lissel's turn comes, she stands quickly, afraid of being forgotten. She steps forward, paper tag checked one last time. She is handed a small ration bread. Again. She accepts it without meeting the guard's eyes. As she climbs into the truck, she looks back across the field. Thousands remain. This place will empty slowly, by lists and columns, not by relief. The war did not end for them with surrender. It ended when logistics allowed it to. The engine starts. The camp recedes behind wire and dust. Hours later, as the sun drops low, the convoy stops briefly along a roadside. Guards dismount. Silence spreads. Lissel looks out across a quiet German landscape, fields intact. Houses standing, civilians watching from a distance without expression. This is what defeat looks like from the inside. Not fire, not shouting. Just continuity without control. As the truck rolls on, Liesel closes her eyes. She does not know how long captivity will last. She does not know what will be asked of her, or what will be taken. She knows only this. She has seen the enemy. They were not monsters. They were systems. The war she was trained to fight is over. What remains is learning how to live when history moves on without you. And somewhere behind her, the Ruhr lies silent, no guns, no orders, only the weight of everything that is finally stopped.